Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Film Seizure. I want to start this episode off by asking you a question, Jeff.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you think everybody is ready to have fun tonight?
I believe everybody will Wing Chun tonight.
You're picking up what I'm throwing down there. Yes.
This is the Wang Chung movie.
The Wang Chung movie.
This is the true story of how Wang and Chung got together.
The unauthorized true story.
Yes.
Lots
of
Wang and Chung
and a lot of counterfeit money.
We should that actually I like that. Maybe we've got Richard Chance and Rick Masters or Wang and Chung.
Yeah,
they're like yin and yang. This week's episode is William Friedkin's Friedkin. It's like Friedkin. William Friedkin's 1985, I believe. L.A. crime thriller To Live and Die in L.A.
Yes, and this kicks off a brand new year. Of Film Seizure.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Merry To Live and Die in L.A.'s miss.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, wait, we're not doing that anymore. Oh, sorry. It's a whole new year. Sorry. But I am Jeff Arbuckle.
I am Jason Oliver.
And so I will admit that neither movie that we're watching this week or next week that have a stylistic through line,
yes,
I have not seen.
Yeah.
So this is new to me, and
Yeah, so we're watching To Live and Die in L.A. this week, and next week we're watching, I'm going to butcher his name, but Nicholas Winding Refn's Drive, which is very much a inspired by type movie, right? So
it's certainly a like a spiritual, I don't know, same genre or whatever.
Yeah. It's I've heard it referred to as neon noir. Right, and it's kind of like this.
that's more your bag.
Yeah,
man.
it's this crime, noir type film,
Yeah.
but it's kind of bathed in an 80s aesthetic, if you will.
Yes,
and this movie, it wasn't at all really, I think, trying to make any specific statement about a decade. It was just making a movie. Using
at a time that was right.
Miami Vice and things like that were very big. Whereas nowadays that sort of aesthetic has kind of come back as a sort of a retro aesthetic.
I think I'll probably have some stuff to say about that next week.
Yeah,
because sometimes I'm not full on board with stuff like that.
Yeah,
but I don't want to. That doesn't apply to this movie. This movie's got a whole other thing going for it that almost feels like it's born from the 70s more so than anything.
Most definitely.
So tell us a little bit about To Live and Die in L.A. I do know it's based on a book.
I did not know that.
Written by a Secret Serviceman, former Secret Serviceman.
Oh, okay.
So he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this movie, it's LA based, so I mean, I think some people have called it sort of the West Coast French Connection in some ways. It's got it's basically I think made 10 years or so after Friedkin made The French Connection, which was based, I believe, in New York City.
Yes,
pretty sure.
So, yeah.
So this, is LA based. It follows Federal Treasury agents, Secret Service agents.
Yeah, because at the beginning you see that they're on Reagan detail while he's in town, but they're not the normal detail of Ronald Reagan.
Right. So I don't know much about the Federal Treasury Agency and the Secret Service, but I do know that the Secret Service are also responsible for basically any crimes involving money, whereas like counterfeiting and that type of thing. So. They have agencies all over the country, and when somebody who needs Secret Service protection is in town, they kind of are called into duty. But when they're not, I believe they are working counterfeit cases. And things like that.
It's kind of like how the FBI is all over the country.
Yeah.
Like if something federally important comes to Indianapolis, the FBI detail in Indianapolis might be called into special action.
Sure. Yep.
They might be given special agent status or something. Yeah.
But the primary focus of this movie is the role of the Secret Service in the treasury detail of tracking down counterfeit money and counterfeiters more.
Yes, the credit sequence of this movie is just stacks and stacks of 20s being exchanged.
Being passed in exchange for all sorts of things.
It's like here's a gigantic stack of 20s for an itty bitty bag of drugs.
Yeah,
it's like, whoa, whatever that is, that's good stuff, I bet. But like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's just 20s and 50s being handed off in stacks. Yep. It's like, this is a money movie.
Yeah, and right off the bat, it's kind of like, oh, whoa, the exchange rates seem off. And you come to find out that yes, okay, the whole city has basically been flooded with counterfeit 20s. So it's kind of caused like this weird inflation where everything that costs money that of a criminal nature is now $50,000.
Right. Yeah. There's so many times that number is floated, and it's like, okay, well, I guess that's okay. I mean, it's like in like Reno, Nevada, it's probably like $20.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so the movie. I don't even know when I first saw this movie, but it always kind of just stuck with me for several reasons, I think.
I think we've got a lot of reasons why we're going to say this is going to stick around.
Yeah.
We're going to think about it for a little while.
Yeah. But immediately this movie, it hooks you in with the Wang Chung score, who they do all the music. Every single element of music in this movie is written and composed by the band Wang Chung, which seems kind of like a weird choice. They had some big hits in the 80s, but
not enough to write a whole movie.
Right,
yeah, that's kind of weird.
And I know that William Friedkin just was a huge fan.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's one thing for like Queen to get offered like Flash Gordon or Highlander. They were a pretty big band.
Yeah, but Friedkin was a fan, and he approached the band. He really liked their approach to music. And he kind of had a conversation with them about his idea, and they were on board and said, "Sure, we'll do it." And honestly, it's kind of for me the biggest hook in this movie is the music. I love it, and
it has a very Miami Vice feel. Like for those who may have seen Miami Vice or know like the various musical stings and stuff that they use, particularly in any kind of crime show that wasn't just a regular police procedural, but was a heavier kind of Miami Vice type of show, or maybe even Riptide to a certain extent.
Yeah,
they would use certain musical things, and this has a very reminiscent tone to that.
And then I think that's part of why it's been such an enduring classic of the sort of 80s, I'll say it again, neon noir genre, is because of the soundtrack. It has, like that Jan Hammer, Miami Vice type vibe to it, and a lot of it
electronic drums.
If you scored this movie in a completely different way and took out all of the 80s California font, it would not probably have nearly as much. Other than, of course, there is a lot of just 80s fashion in this movie.
Well, but it's relatively bland. If you would have scored it with an orchestra, I don't think I'd like this movie.
I don't think I would like it nearly as much, if at all.
It's like the music is a whole separate character, and it's the only character that I think you can actually like.
Yes.
Everybody. This is one of those types of movies where everybody is dirty as fuck.
Yep. Everybody's got an angle.
Yeah.
It's very noir in that respect. There's really nobody is a good guy. Everybody's got an angle. Everybody's
doing something
a double
wrong.
Cross up their sleeve.
Yeah.
Yep. Nobody shows their true face.
Right. Although I will argue that maybe one character who is actually probably on the villain side that does not have that secret face, that actually might be somebody where it's like, okay, well, I don't want him to die, would be like Dean Stockwell.
Right, sure.
Because he's the lawyer.
Yeah,
but he's on retainer for the bad guy, but that's not really a reason why he's on the bad. I mean, like, he's not really a bad guy.
We'll get to him a little later, though, because
it's interesting what he does.
I think he also muddies the plot a little bit in a way that maybe doesn't make much sense. when it all all comes down to the final climax.
Yes, because I would argue that he actually breaks the law too.
Yes. Absolutely.
In terms of his relationship with his client.
Yeah. But I think it's one of those movies where, okay, who knew what and when, and that matters. And I think some of the strings start to unravel in the last act.
Sure.
But anyway, we'll talk about that when we get there.
I had to write down the characters.
Yeah.
Because so another thing about these types of movies. You can tell it's from a book because there's a lot of characters.
Sure.
Yep. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, and this person does that, and this person's connected to this person. At one point in time, there are two blonde ladies, and I'm like, are those the same ladies? And you had to say, no. And then later you see, okay, yeah, no, they're not. But for a little while, I'm like,
well, yeah, sometimes when you're getting your bearings in a movie, right, and you're meeting a lot of characters at once, that can be confusing for sure.
Especially when they're both blonde. They both kind of look the same. They're both kind of built the same way. It's like, wait, those are the same people? No, they're not.
Yeah.
So it's, so I mean, like you said, it's like it's very much it's about the Secret Service being kind of, well, they're not tasked to find this Willem Dafoe character.
Right.
It is something that is an ongoing investigation that is a little bit. It's almost Willem Dafoe plays the villain in this, and of course he does.
Oh, and a great villain,
right?
Oh.
And he basically is an artist who also counterfeits money.
Yeah,
and he's very good at counterfeiting money.
And he's a very good artist too.
Yes,
yes.
And he is very he's a weirdo.
Yeah,
because of course he is.
And I love that idea of like the tactile nature of counterfeiting in this day and
age.
You
see.
And it makes perfect sense that a painter, or someone with that sort of sense of detail would be good at doing that.
Sense of texture.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's imperfection. Yeah. Right. And so he's you see an entire sequence of him making fake $20 bills, and it's really kind of cool. Makes me want to like set up shop. But I don't want William Peterson coming after me like a madman. Anyway, so he is so good at this that he's almost too big to bring down.
Yeah.
The Secret Service or the Treasury Department says, okay, well, we'll only front $10,000 for a sting operation, basically to basically pay for the services of getting counterfeit, so you can catch the guy.
Yeah,
but he won't take jobs that are less than a certain. Like he knows the
rules, the system. Yeah,
and so he basically operates at such a high level. It's almost like, in kind of a weird allegory, I guess. It's almost like the banks that are too big to fail. Like they operate so far above the curve that they can't be that there's nothing you can do to fix them without causing potentially real harm.
Right. Yes.
So it's like but in this case he works so far above the board that he knows exactly how far the Treasury Department will go against, will go to try to stop him. Yeah. So he's almost impossible
and
to catch.
He's very well known by the Secret Service. They know exactly who he is.
But they don't have any evidence. They have nothing to pin him on.
But they've never been able to make a buy and catch him. They've just never been able to pin anything on him.
They can't get anybody to roll over on him.
Right, yeah. So he's got enough layer of minions to where he's protected. He's got a high-powered lawyer. He's a smart criminal.
Do you think that if you were a lawyer and you're going to represent a counterfeiter, how nervous would you be that you would be receiving counterfeit
money?
I
know. I think I would only take wire transfer. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at that point, that's up to the bank to figure out.
Right.
What's right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you're a lawyer, I mean, it's all above board payment anyway, right? You get paid what you get paid. You're not taking any illegal money.
No, technically, like You're not. It's not against the law for 7-Eleven to take a fake $1 bill if you don't know it's fake.
Right.
Yeah. Like nobody, not everybody knows what a fake dollar bill looks like.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you might be asked to like identify the person, and maybe you can. Maybe
oh my God, how many bad fake bills have you seen in your days of retail?
Only a couple.
I've seen a few, and I've seen some bad ones.
The one thing that now granted, there were two things I was pretty good at. One time at the video store that we worked at, some guy tried to shortchange me by doing trading the bills.
Oh yeah, they try to confuse you,
right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, like I laid it out on the counter,
right?
Because it's like,
yeah.
I had a sense that there was something weird.
Yeah.
And then when I was at the bank, of course, we never dealt with like cash quite the same way. It's like, but there were people trying to cash checks that they weren't legally allowed to.
Yeah.
And you shut that stuff down, and you take the heat, that they give you, but it's like eventually they get the sense that and they either speed off from the drive-through or they immediately leave. It's like, if I stick around here one more minute,
Yeah, I would see some fake 20s.
Yeah,
and sometimes I would count the drawers at a night, and I'm like, oh, come on, how did this get past you?
Yeah,
sometimes I probably have deposited fake or counterfeit bills countless more times than I've noticed they were fake, right?
Right.
But some of the bad ones are like they they're so bad. It's like, how did you take this bill? It's like they've got a 5, but they've cut off parts of the 20 to stitch it on the ends or something, right? To make it look like a 20. Right. Oh my God, it's so bad.
Or you have somebody who just printed the face side.
Yeah,
and it's like white on the back.
Oh, I never saw one of those. That's
the one time I've seen it.
That's ludicrous.
It did not pass. I was like, here, you can keep that. I do know, like when I worked at the bank and did all the training, and so it's like they tell you the tricks of you always have to make sure you go through every bill.
So yeah, you worked at the bank. You never saw anything.
No,
that's probably be pretty ballsy to pass counterfeit bills at a bank.
It would be because a couple of things about our bank. One, it was mostly businesses. The bank at the branch that I worked at, so businesses aren't doing anything outright illegal. The people who would come and cash their checks from those businesses, they were coming in with a check. And so you can check you can see the 3 things that need to be on every check.
Yeah.
Basically a date, an amount, or a date paid to the order of, and a signature. That's really all you need to really cash a check. I mean, obviously there has to be some monetary amount, but there were only 3 required things. But they would teach you most of the time the fake bills are in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now what's funny is that the bank employed it in the reverse. If somebody was to hold you up or whatever, the die pack is on a fake bill in the middle of a handful of bills.
Yeah.
And also everybody, when you got your drawer, there would be a stack of bills that would be numbered, that would be written down someplace.
Yeah.
So if you got held up, they just have to find those numbers when they're being passed.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and find out who's passing those numbers.
That's like the marked bills, basically.
Right, basically, but without it being marked.
Right.
I mean, that's why they put serial numbers on dollar bills, people.
Well, that's why
every bill is always marked.
Well, that's why they always say untraceable serial numbers, when they ask for.
Yeah, sorry, every serial number.
But it's like, how are you going to know? Yeah.
Not every serial number is written down, but I guarantee you every drawer that you rip off robbers, because I know most of our audience are bank robbers. They're listening to us while they're staking out a place.
Right.
I'm telling you right now, guys, every drawer that you take money from, there are marked bills in there.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're gonna get passed to you, whether you ask for them or not.
Does not every bill that passes through the bank with a serial number gets logged?
No.
That's logged
That's logged on the Treasury side.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's all logged with the Treasury.
So maybe if you get every dollar in the bank, probably 10% of those bills are traceable via
Yes.
serial number.
Yes, in some way, shape, or form, there is a serial number that's been recorded someplace of the money that you're taking.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Ha.
But yeah, it's like they taught you the tricks, what to look for. I mean, now granted, we saw some stuff in this movie where like they're taking a pencil eraser and like mussing up like the serial number and then looking at it under a one of those jeweler magnifying glasses sort of thing. And that stuff, we didn't know any of that. I mean, that was not our job.
Right. Sure.
The bank, and that's the thing. It's like, it's not the retailer, it's not the bank's job to make sure that every bill is, but if you know you've gotten one, it is your job to report it.
Sure.
If it's some loser that's just trying to buy a pack of cigarettes with a shitty tin, that's one. I mean, you just give that back to him. It's like, dude, come on.
Yeah, that was like at the end of the night when you like got a fake 20 in the till. It's like,
yeah, what are you gonna do about that?
I just pin it up and I tell the store manager, and it's like, and you just don't deposit it.
Right?
You just lose $20. I mean,
right?
Is it really worth the whole hassle?
Exactly, and because whatever it's going to take for you to call the police,
right,
to fill out that report, that's not worth. I mean, you just give it back to the person. It's like, come on, dude,
right.
Be a little smarter. Or whatever, if you catch it, if you're the one who's catching it.
I've never caught one in the moment, but
but like the bank, if somebody comes and it's like, hey, somebody gave me this, then you have to follow the procedure to get, because that does affect not just the Treasury, and that affects a lot of people in this country, but it also can affect the FDIC.
Yeah,
because they could be giving away insured monies that they don't have to.
I think it actually has come up. It came up before after deposit, where the bank will come back and say there was a bill in your deposit that was counterfeit.
But that's not going to come from your branch. That's going to come from the downtown, because when I was at the individual branch, it's like we get the bag of money, right, and we say, okay, this is what should be in here. We can count it real quick. And now, obviously, if there's an obvious, that's one thing. But that, and to be honest with you, we never opened those bags.
Yeah.
We took them out of the drop box, put them in a big leather lockable bag, and the Brinks guy came, took them downtown. Then the downtown opened them.
Huh.
All we did was take out the paper, the second section that had the deposit slip, and type in the deposit.
Oh, wow.
Everything else was sent downtown. So
how was it
so
verified?
When Chase Bank got it, or not Chase, Bank One at the time when I worked there, when it went to the Bank One building, then there were people who were verifying every single dollar, making adjustments. If there was something not right in there, they billed the company.
The company, right?
Or
because it's also written on the bag, right? The all the deposit information.
Yes.
Would you verify that all the correct information was on the bag?
Yes. So we would take the paper slip, which is what we use to run the deposit at that moment, because like they're depositing checks and money,
right?
We have to put that in so that it reflects in their account.
Yep.
And then it gets forwarded to the downtown branch, which then actually does the official. If there's any adjustments, it has to be done there. But that's because that's not what happens with like individuals, because you come to me at the bank and you give me $100. It's 520s or whatever.
Right.
I count that on the spot. Businesses are giving you thousands of dollars. We can't go through that.
Yeah.
So that goes downtown.
Yeah.
And that's because those are major exchanges of cash. So.
Got it. Makes sense.
Anyway. Welcome to Economy Talk with Jeff and Jason.
How to counterfeit or not counterfeit?
I would recommend not.
How to not counterfeit.
Yeah, I would recommend don't counterfeit.
The Secret Service is listening to this episode.
Maybe.
Hey, that's cool. I hope you guys like it.
Yeah, hey. Yeah. Awesome.
We do not in any way, shape, or form condone counterfeiting money.
No, but it sure did look fun in that scene.
It did. It was a really fun scene. It really is.
Well, I mean, sometimes crime does look fun.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
well, you made the comment too. It's like, man, that's a lot of work. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd rather just get a job.
But sometimes, sometimes your skill set is of the criminal nature, and that's what you go with.
I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But I mean, you can never counterfeit the way they counterfeit in this movie anymore.
Not anymore.
Not with all the laser etching and foiling and threading and oh my god, it's like super complex now.
Yeah. Well, because of stuff like this, I mean, this. I mean, I remember growing up as a kid,
watermarks.
It's like I remember growing up as a kid hearing about all these counterfeit stories, and it's like, wow, so people are just making their own money. Awesome. But like 9-year-old Jeff is just like drawing out, like taking a green marker to a piece of paper.
Yeah. Well, there's a scene after he finished his counterfeiting where he puts all the money in a dryer and throws some rags in there and throws a bunch of poker chips in there to tumble the money to weather it, to make it feel like it's been, circulated and used. And when I saw this movie the first time as a kid, a light bulb went off in my brain. That was a total misfire, but I thought that's what the term laundering money meant.
Right, which you told me that story, and I was like, well, then there's in License to Kill the moment when like Anthony Zerbe gets blown up in the pressure chamber, and and like Robert Davi's like launder it, or whatever. Yeah. There's all the money and they exploded all over, which is funny because both we have of money laundering, but also Secret Service. Because Bond is part of the Her Majesty's Secret Service, which ties into a movie later this month.
Indeed.
It all comes together.
It always comes together in some way, shape, or form.
In
Film
some
Seizure.
Way, yeah, we connect them dots. But no, so basically, William Peterson is shown as kind of being an adrenaline junkie. Yeah. Which is a definite character flaw.
Oh, yeah.
Because, he's kind of a hard-boiled dick.
Yes, except he's not a detective, but yes.
Right.
This guy has no off switch, man.
No.
He is either fucking, drinking, or busting heads.
Yeah. And he doesn't care what combination of those things he does.
And he'll do some of them at the same time.
He's got a partner who's like, I'm going to go check out this lead we got on Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Eyes on Dafoe. It should be like a hashtag always.
Willem Dafoe's in town. Holy shit, man. Get at least 4 eyes on that guy.
So anyway, they're going to...
He's like the best, most terrifying bad guy. I love him so much.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care what it is. Willem Dafoe's in it. All right.
Yeah, I'm in. He's the bad guy? Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, anybody doubt that he would be an awesome Green Goblin?
Right.
Come on. So anyway,
his partner is about to retire.
He's 3 days from retirement.
3 days from retirement. And you know what that means. Deadsville.
He gets his fucking face blown off.
Yep.
And so this brings now William Peterson.
Yeah, so he gets his face blown off by
Defoe's
flunky.
henchman.
They're both there, and he's snooping around the warehouse where Defoe prints his money. Yep.
And so now he's got a serious hard on for catching this guy.
Yeah.
And God, there's so many layers to this because he's got a lady. William Peterson's got a lady who gives him information, and he keeps her out of prison. It's kind of not a very fair deal.
Oh, he's a total dick.
Yeah, I mean, and he just comes over to her place and just fucks her.
He literally comes into her apartment, grabs a beer. It's early in the morning.
Yeah,
he's probably
he's been raging all
4
night.
or 5 in the morning, maybe earlier, and grabs a beer, walks into her bedroom, just starts taking his clothes off.
Yeah, and she's naked. Yeah. And she actually puts his shirt on because it's kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah. He insults her.
Yeah, he basically is like, what's he say? Something like,
something about it's too bad you couldn't have caught the guy alive. He would have done anything to stay out of jail.
Oh, like you.
And then he says, "Oh yeah, like you." Yeah, insults her and then fucks her.
But he's dick out.
Yeah. Dick out. Williams Peterson is on full display. Yeah. Some shit.
There's some uncomfortable shit.
Some shit HD is just not good for. And
he's got a semi rock hard thing going on.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. The woman's very pretty.
She is gorgeous.
But I mean, if you ever wanted to see what William Peterson looks like half cocked,
yeah,
just watch this movie. You get about 30, I don't know, some minutes in. 30
yeah,
some minutes.
About 30 minutes in. Yeah. There you go. You got the timestamp. 30 minutes.
I don't know. It's something.
13 seconds.
Refer to Mr. Skin. Because she's naked too, so Mr. Skin's totally got it.
But yeah, he just fucking busts in and does. I mean, he's a dick.
Well, he busts in, all right.
Oh yeah. What'd you say? He
paints the cave.
Oh God, yeah.
You made me say that.
That's the expression. I made you say it.
Yeah. He did. He totally did. He didn't even try to.
So So apparently, he's got something on her, and he's using it in a way that I don't think that the Treasury Department's internal affairs would appreciate too much.
No, and she's giving him information on other potential crimes, and he's like, I don't care.
Yeah, she just wants out from under this guy's thumb, basically.
Right.
She's pretty tragic, but she's got her own little plan up her sleeve, which is pretty clever.
Yeah, oh boy, things get complicated here. So basically, William Peterson gets a new partner, and he kind of looks like the guy. He kind of looks like Mark from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah, it's John
Pankow.
John Pankow.
Yeah.
And his name in the movie, what is it? John Vankovich or something like that,
or Vikovich or Vankovich,
something like that.
Yeah. So he's kind of straight laced, and the other guy.
And he's a little bit younger, probably a little bit more naive.
And William Peterson's a rage monster.
Oh my God, yeah.
He is dangerous. And so basically, William Peterson's like, dude, if you're going to be my partner, just know what's up. This is all I give a shit about.
Yeah, he said, I'm going to get this guy, talking about Rick Masters, and I don't give a shit how I do it.
Right. Basically, if you're in with me, there's going to be some illegal shit happening.
Right. Without coming right out and saying it, that's exactly what he's saying.
Right.
Yep.
And guess what happens?
Some illegal shit goes down. Yeah.
So basically, again, he figures out a way to talk to the lawyer, which is there's two lawyers.
Yeah, that gets a little confusing.
Basically, they're on a stakeout. This gets really there's so much detail.
Well, it is the plot to plot to plot. I mean, this thing is stitched very intricately together.
Right,
every scene depends on the last.
Right, because they think they're going to be able to get Willem Dafoe by arresting John Turturro. They catch him passing counterfeit money, so they arrest him. But John Turturro is not going to roll over. And so, but Willem Dafoe is still kind of concerned that he's going to roll over.
But it's funny because the John Turturro character is actually useless in this movie.
As it turns out.
Because the information they get about Max Waxman, which is the lawyer that you find out from John Turturro's character that he was dropping off money. Max Waxman told Dafoe that, no, I never got any money, which was a lie. He was trying to steal from Dafoe.
Yeah.
And then, but Turturro got busted by William Peterson at the airport, right? So they get him in jail, but they don't know anything about Max Waxman until Peterson talks to his girlfriend, the CI.
Yes.
She's the one who clues him in on that guy.
And so they go and watch him, but they don't know, or new partner falls asleep.
Yeah.
When Willem Dafoe shows up to kill Max Waxman.
That's a classic John Pankow move, man.
Man, John Pankow. Anyway.
And that's we made a comment about the stakeout. So they're in a stakeout in a I think it's like a European Orthodox Catholic church
something
of
like
some
that,
sort.
Yeah. Because the bishop or the priest or whatever is very heavily accented.
Yes, and he's got like the cassock, so it's not like pants. It's the priest dress, basically.
The dress, the robe.
And he gives him milk and cookies, which is adorable. But then later on, William Peterson is asleep on the couch in his leather jacket, and there is an empty bottle of whiskey and about 5 empty styrofoam McDonald's coffee cups.
Yeah. Right. So it's some serious business.
This is stakeout done hard boiled style.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that Max Waxman, I love that
Max
name.
Waxman.
Max Waxman gets killed because he lied. He
Yeah.
was trying to take more money.
Yeah, Defoe and his lady, they
set him up.
They set him up.
But they miss out on that.
Right.
And so they miss that opportunity. So they try to lean on John Turturro.
Yes.
And then John Turturro is like, okay, sure, you get me out basically, and he tricks William Peter.
Well, in the meantime, though, Defoe tries to have Turturro hit in prison
which Peterson knows about.
Yeah.
Because he figures out, it's like, oh, this guy's trying to kill you. You can help us,
right.
and we will keep you safe.
And he's like, well, I'm not going to testify in open court. But Peterson's like, well, what if we get you out?
Right.
Will you help us? And Turturro's like, yeah, sure, get me out. Because that's his only way of escape, you know?
Right. So he convinces Peterson to go stop and see his daughter. This is my favorite fucking scene ever. So
I love it too because he had to go through all sorts of hoops to get Turturro out,
including putting his reputation online.
Right. And the guy even told him, it's like, if he escapes on you, you will have to testify in open court that
you fucked up, basically.
That you essentially are incompetent. Right.
Right. And so John Turturro, like, the first thing he says as they're walking to the car, he's still cuffed. He's like, can we stop at Santa Fe Hospital? My daughter's there.
She's sick.
Can we just stop by there? And so
it's on the way.
Yeah, it's on the way to where we printed the money.
So good.
And like, so Peterson like calls dispatch and it's like, hey, can you check that this person's in there? And so they're in the hospital, and John Turturro's like, do you have any kids? And it's like, really changes the way you think, and you're thinking, oh, okay, maybe this guy's
maybe
like,
he's a good guy. Maybe he's trying to help.
And so they're walking down the hallway, and Peterson's like, so what happened to your daughter? And he's like, oh yeah, she was on the playground, and some monkey came up and was like, hey ha! And he like turns around and starts punching and kicking William Peterson in the balls.
And he escapes. He's gone.
He's gone.
He's poof.
He's gone to the wind.
So they're like, well, that lead is not going anywhere. So now the only thing we have left is to make a buy.
Right. So me and my partner are going to go directly to Willem Dafoe. We're going to pretend that we're offshore Cayman Islands bankers.
Yeah, from Miami, I think, or something.
Yeah, and we're going to...
Or Palm Springs, yeah.
And we're going to come up with a story that we basically need this funny money to protect the interests of this other client. So they go and dude's like, it's like Willem Dafoe knows what's up. He knows that if he sniffs anything weird about people he doesn't know, well, I need $30,000.
Right.
That's too much. That's too much for the government.
Exactly.
Government, their boss is played by Robert Downey Sr., which is awesome.
It is awesome. He's got some great lines in
he
this
does.
too.
Yeah, he has some good stuff.
He makes every moment count.
Yes.
When he's on screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is the classic, like, that guy just guzzles Tums. He looks stressed and like disheveled. Anyway, so he's like, no, the rule is $10,000.
Yeah.
And like William Peterson, probably rightfully so, says he knows this.
Right. We're never going to catch him.
We're never going to catch him because he's always going
He's making a fool of us.
Exactly. And don't you want to just put this to rest?
Yep.
And it's like, sorry, that's the rules. By the way, you don't follow the rules because you're going off on these setups and not telling me.
Yep.
Dude, come on.
Yep.
And also, John Turturro just left on you. You're dumbass.
You're a dumbass. Which is all true.
Which is all true.
And William Peterson, as this movie progresses, becomes more and more unhinged. Like he's
obsessed.
He is obsessed. He's less willing to every roadblock he meets. He basically takes a sledgehammer to.
quite literally
Yes.
here in just a moment.
Yes.
Well, not quite literal, but almost practically.
Very, very, very close.
Very close. So he learned from his fuck buddy, who
CI.
Whatever.
Earlier in the movie, he learns about a jewel heist.
Right.
Or actually, I don't even think it's a jewel heist. It's somebody had stolen jewels, but
And
they
this
are
guy's going to come and buy
and they're
going to
come. It's like
It has
yes.
nothing to do with counterfeits.
Yeah.
And he could easily pass that off to the FBI. He doesn't give a shit.
Right.
But then he's like, wait a minute, the light bulb goes off.
$50,000.
It's $50,000.
The payoff. That yes.
It's like, if we pull this heist, so he goes to his girlfriend who works at the strip
We'll
club.
rob the robbers. Who are the robbers going to tell? Right? That's the whole idea.
Exactly. And so he goes to see his girlfriend who works at the strip club. She works the door at the strip club.
With her shirt is like barely hanging on.
It's a dress. It's a whole dress.
God.
It's like a silvery 80s dress, and it's so hot.
It is so hot.
So hot.
Yeah.
Talk about the wardrobe quotient. She was way off.
She's off the charts.
She was way off the charts.
This woman, she was on screen for I think maybe. No, that was the other woman. The woman.
Jane Leaves?
Yes.
Ooh,
she was on screen for less than 10 seconds, and Jeff had her up on Wikipedia.
No, because Jane Leaves was on Frasier. I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, but we didn't know who she was at first.
No, I was like, wait, wait, Jane Leaves is in this. Wait, she's... Yeah. No, that's kind of true. The first moment she was on screen, it's like, who is that?
Who's that?
Who is this brunette vixen? Anyway.
Yes.
Anyway, so... it paid off in the long run.
It did.
So anyway, he goes to talk to her, gets the deets, and they're like,
he's very subtly interested because they need the
and
money.
he tells her, basically, I'm gonna fucking do this.
Yeah,
and she wants money from it.
She wants in. She wants cut in, and he's like, "Oh, you know all this information because you wanted somebody to do this heist, and you were gonna give it to somebody else, weren't you?" And she's like, "Oh." She plays very coy.
Bills to pay, man. It's like, how much money you get paid working the door at a strip club?
But she wants cut in on this thing. So and Peterson only needs $30K to do the deal with Masters Defoe. So he's like,
well, there's $20,000 to the bonus.
And he tries to convince his partner.
And he's like, I don't. It's like all you have to do is drive the car. The partner eventually gives in.
Yeah.
Because he is kind of. He's the weaker personality.
He's a little bit naive. He's also trying to probably make his mark in the department. Wants a big arrest.
Yeah.
Definitely. Just definitely kind of bulldozed.
Yeah.
By William Peterson's personality.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Peterson
way to put it.
likes to manipulate him by saying that he's not a real cop. Basically, he's not. If he's not with them, he's against them.
Yeah,
that kind of bullshit. Yeah,
right.
Like there's no loyalty. That kind of horseshit.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it does play very similarly to what you see in cop dramas anyway, with the partner bond and stuff like that. Especially because they were friends. He was friends with his original partner, and his partner got killed when his partner refused to take somebody else with him to investigate this. I mean, I'm guessing William Peterson would have killed everything because he's unhinged from the beginning.
Yeah.
He does.
You get the sense that his partner, his older partner, did not impart the best habits.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's like, all right, so we're going to go. It's a quote unquote Chinaman is going to show up, which is funny because he's like, how do you know this guy's trained? She's like, well, I called Amtrak.
She called Amtrak, yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
I asked for his reservation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, seemingly that's something you could do.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, I don't know if you could, but
maybe not nowadays. Yeah. But back then, sure.
Sure, why not?
35 years ago, absolutely. I did it every day.
It seemed rereasonable.
Yeah, it seemed reasonable that, like, okay, she did her homework.
Right.
But yes, obviously she's trying to get cut in on this heist.
And not only that, but you also get the sense that maybe she would do whatever she needs to do, get whatever details she needs to get out from underneath William Peterson's thumb.
If she continues...
She feels desperate.
Yeah, if she continues to give the right information, she can leave.
Maybe she can get the hell out of this situation.
Which kind of almost happens. Anyway... So the partner decides, okay, fine, whatever, I'll help. So he takes the guy from the train station. He's got a what do they call those? Those really tough.
It's a briefcase.
It's one of those metal.
It's like an armored briefcase. Yeah.
So he takes him. They drive. He's got other people though that all of a sudden show up and start chasing them.
Yeah.
They eventually slip those guys and get and they're going to try to open the case.
And the Chinaman is the buyer, right?
Right.
He's supposed to be the buyer of these jewels.
Right. So he has the money. He has a case that only has a telephone book in it.
Yep.
Then he finds out he's got a money belt on, so he takes the money belt. And then some of the people that were following him show up.
Yep. They start firing machine guns.
And it accidentally kills the guy.
Yep.
And now there's a new chase.
This sequence feels a lot to me like Michael Mann's Heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of, so, all right. So first of all, William Friedkin's really good at filming chases.
Yeah, he is.
This is kind of like the French Connection chase for the 1980s.
Yeah, in LA, a
In
different
LA.
coast with all the right set pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
And all of the right situations.
God, I mean, I think this movie was made for $6 million.
It's
$5
all- five of
million
it had to go for
went
this
to this scene.
chase.
Yeah.
It creates this big, huge backup on the 101.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious because you hear the radio report of it, and it's like there was a minor accident.
Yeah.
And it's like you see all the cars and like the
Yeah.
just the fuck that everybody is.
There's like, it should only cause maybe 5 to 10 minutes more in
Delay,
your delay. Yeah.
That was like some Verhoeven stuff.
Yeah, that's
you know?
great. Yeah.
But anyway, so they've got the money. Yay!
Yay.
Except until the next morning when they're having their Hill Street Blues moment.
Oh, boy.
And the captain's telling everybody what's going on. And you come to find out that the, quote, Chinaman was an undercover FBI agent.
Oops.
They killed not just an FBI, but they slipped an FBI investigation.
Sting operation. Yeah.
Yes. And basically one organization has now fucked the other.
Yep.
Which is funny because I think that happens a lot in
It
real world.
It probably does.
Because the FBI doesn't have to tell the Treasury Department what they're doing.
You've got CIs telling you one thing. You don't check to see if maybe you do, but probably
likely.
not very often.
Not
Do you
very
check
often.
if that's an active investigation?
I think this happens a lot between FBI and other, and I think that's something that comes up every now and then, that there's so much disorganization.
Yeah, the
because-
left hand doesn't know the right hand's wiping its ass. Yeah,
exactly. And so this happens.
Yeah.
The partner now is like, oh my fucking god, he is up tilt forever.
Yes, the rest of the movie, he's pretty much bonkers.
Right.
Yeah.
Because now he knows he is, at the very least, complicit in murder.
Yep.
Or at least,
who knows how
grand theft larceny.
I mean, how many deaths do you think happened on that highway interstate
like
chase?
42?
At least 42, right?
Yeah.
So he's involved in at least 42 of those.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and William Peterson's like, fucking don't care.
Yeah.
We're gonna get our guy.
We're gonna get our guy.
We're gonna get our guy, and I'm gonna get my revenge.
We got the money. We're making the buy.
Yeah.
Is basically his response to all
he
that.
doesn't fucking care.
Yep.
He practically says it in front of their boss.
Yep.
Like they start like wrestling in the stairwell, and the boss comes in. It's like, look at these fuckers. You know? And their fat guy. That was anyway.
Desk duty
Cop that secret agent that the secret donut agent that Robert Downey Sr. was talking to. So anyway,
he's investigating counterfeit jelly donuts.
these aren't Dunkin' Donuts.
these donuts don't have jelly in them.
These are Bavarian cream. Boo. Anyway, but now William Peterson has the money. He gets in close to Willem Dafoe.
Yes.
Everything's coming up Millhouse for them. And so, and like, meanwhile, partner goes to talk
to the lawyer.
Not just any lawyer.
Willem Dafoe's lawyer.
Willem Dafoe's lawyer, who's like the best lawyer in town.
Yep.
So Dean Stockwell's like, all right, here's the deal. The FBI probably doesn't want it known that their agent was killed by essentially friendly fire over another stinging operation. It's going to look bad. At the very least, it's going to look bad. They will probably keep this quiet, but you're probably going to have to serve some time in the pokey. And he's like, oh, fuck. And he's like, you're going to also have to roll over on William Peterson.
Yep.
And at that point in time, like the partner is like, I got to draw this line. I'm not going to roll over.
Yes, there is a running theme in this movie that snitches get stitches. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they still, even if they don't snitch, are going to get fucked over.
Yeah, it's like basically you enter in the orbit of somebody in this movie, and you're fucked.
Yeah, you're going to get swallowed eventually.
Right.
Yep.
So the buy is made, and then Willem Dafoe's like, all right, Friday night, got your funny money on Friday night. Friday, January 30th. They tell you the time and date of everything.
That's the great. I love that about this movie. It shows you the date and time of all the big major events in the movie, but it shows you in a different font. It's like a font that relates to the way the train times look when they're at this train station.
Yeah,
there's a font that looks like
graffiti,
right?
Not graffiti, a script.
A script, yeah. So they know one. It's not the same font every time. It's to this aesthetic,
and it adds to the aesthetic of what's happening on that day.
Right?
And
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like this is very methodical now,
Yeah.
so it's digital in its look,
Yeah.
and it seems very rigid.
Yes.
So Willem Dafoe, he's got his lady friend. And Jane leaves, like in his apartment, and he like tells his lady, "It's like I got you something for tonight. While I'm gonna go make this deal."
That is hot.
Yeah, it is. It's like I
hot.
got you.
She's got this blanket over her legs, and Willem Dafoe moves over and removes it, and she's just got her legs spread. Oh God, it's hot.
It's hot. It's hot business.
It's steamy.
And his lady is like, oh, it's like, yeah, right.
Yeah, it's
Get
steamy.
in on that.
It's steamy.
Get in on that. And so he's like, I'll be back later.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Get in on that, Willem.
Yeah. Hopefully they're not too tired.
You know what? I get a feeling Willem Dafoe, it's like he shows up. He's like probably like railing at that point, He's like, yeah, we're going to still do this.
This is happening.
This is happening, ladies. So he shows up. To make the deal at this club.
At the club, the gym that he goes to.
The gym that they met up at and everything. And the funny thing is, earlier when they were talking about making the deal, it's like Willem Dafoe is like, I'm at this gym like 6 days a week. People know who I am. Like, he is not afraid because he works beyond where the law can get him.
Yep.
And he's like hiding in plain sight, which I think only pisses William Peterson off more. That it's like, dude, we have everything we need except for his direct involvement. It's like what I'm guessing Elliot Ness went through with Al Capone.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like we've got everything, but the actual him pulling a trigger.
Right.
So anyway, so they go and they meet up, and of course they spring the trap.
Yes.
It's like, aha, we got you. Hey, little dude, go
cuff the huge dude who's twice your size.
Yeah, go cuff his fucking henchman who's like a big ape. I'm gonna punch Willem Dafoe a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in some digs because he killed my partner.
Because and guess what? Little partner dude can't handle big ape.
Nope.
Big ape pulls out a shotgun, and guess what happens? Holy shit. Our lead character gets shot in the fucking face with a shotgun.
William Peterson gets his face blown off from 5 feet away. Face off. From 5 feet away with a shotgun. Yep, it's gone.
He's dead. He's dead zone. And there's still like 15 minutes left.
And he's able to get a shot off at the same time to kill the big dude.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe runs off and the squirrely little partner runs after him.
Right. And basically he did some police work earlier to know where he lives.
Right.
Basically.
So, all right. So this is where I have two problems with this movie. I have 2 fingers, one finger on each hand up in the air right now. So,
one, we didn't get to see Willem Dafoe's lady friend do anything to Jane Mage.
That's 3 problems.
Okay, 3. Yeah.
All right. So problem number 1. So he was doing some detective work earlier, and he had a pretty good idea that this warehouse belonged to Rick Masters.
He flat out had the...
He had the...
Oh, you know what it was?
The location of the counterfeiting process.
No, I can tell you why. They couldn't do anything. Because...
They couldn't stake it out?
Dean Stockwell told him he can't tell them that. It's against the law for him to give them that information.
But no, they got it from the little crippled art guy.
Oh yeah, the little dude.
The little dude with no legs. The art dealer.
Yeah.
He got the information from him. So they had the location. They could have just staked that out.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So yes, they go.
But do they have any information? They can't get in. So do they really have anything other than a location?
But that's the problem. That's why the whole point for John Turturro was to take them to the location. That was his whole purpose. And when that didn't pan out, why didn't they just stake out this other place that is probably most likely the location? It doesn't make any sense.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That drives me crazy.
Yeah, okay.
And then you find out, of course, he goes to it and he finds Willem Dafoe there, and it's on all. He's burning everything. He's burning everything. It's on fire. And then Willem Dafoe says something that I find also plot problematic. He says, "Why didn't you just take the deal?" Implying that he knew everything that was going on with his lawyer and those two.
I have
and with the Treasury agents. Like the lawyer was setting the Treasury agents up for Dafoe. So if that's the case, why would Dafoe take the meeting in the first place to do the exchange?
I feel like there may be a plot point from the book that's missing or something, like or a deleted scene or something where I wouldn't be terribly surprised to find out maybe he had that place bugged. Like he had his lawyer bugged.
Yeah, but that's not in the movie.
No, I know what you're saying, and the best I can do is contemplate what the possible reason for that is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, in a way, I kind of thought of that as this guy is so good, he just knows everything.
Yeah, I have no doubt that the lawyer was playing the federal agents the whole time.
I think he was playing Willem Dafoe too. I think he might have been playing. I think he and the girl were playing Willem Dafoe.
Well, the girl,
his girlfriend,
well,
Willem Dafoe's girlfriend.
To a point, you're probably right.
Because at the end, like he's there in their house, watching their fucking videos.
That's true.
It's like he knew what was.
And then she leaves with her sexy lady.
Yeah, they go to Seattle
and
Fraser begins.
the Ferrari and probably with the paintings
that were
missing, that were worth lots to sell them. Yeah, and probably some funny money, I would imagine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So she's going off into the sunset.
Right. She's the only one who kind of gets out scot.
And the lawyer.
The lawyer. Yeah.
But
I don't know.
John Proc, what is his name? John
Pankow.
He kills Willem Dafoe.
Yes. So he doesn't just shoot him. He lights him on fire.
Yeah.
Because Willem Dafoe looks like he's about to beat him to death with like a 2x4 or whatever. But then he drops, and then like that gives John Pankow an opportunity, a window.
Yeah.
And then he like lights on fire, and then he shoots him. And Willem Dafoe burning is terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
He's like flailing.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe on fire. Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, so we got a Burning Man in this movie, which is awesome. I'm always up for a man in a fire suit.
And then kind of the big stinger at the end, which I don't know if it's earned or not, but
Pankow,
thank you. Jesus, keep forgetting this guy's name.
Vukovich,
the partner, he survives. The guy who kills Defoe.
Right.
He shows up at William Peterson's CI, the lady.
Yes, the other blonde
he's
lady.
dicking over basically in more ways than one.
And
he shows up at her apartment.
Right, and he basically tells her, it's like, so you knew you were getting something out of this whole heist thing.
Yeah.
And she's like packing up and leaving
She
town.
wants to get out of town.
Right, because she's got, essentially, I'm assuming she's got the other 20,000.
Yeah, she does.
And, she was like, you know what? I had to pay. People were leaning on me too.
Right. I had to pay
So
bills to
fuck
pay.
off. Basically, and like now, Vukovic, John Pankow is like possessed by William Peterson.
He is. He's got the fucking glasses and
Yeah.
everything, the jacket.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, no.
You work for me now.
You work for me now.
Yeah.
And then he like apparently just pulls his truck up into her backyard.
I think that was actually a callback shot of William Peterson when he pulled in
Oh,
that
okay.
one morning. So it's supposed
like
to
mirroring
mirror the fact that
Yeah,
he's the new dickhead in town. Yeah,
he's the new dick in her lady cave.
yeah, painting the walls.
Oh God.
Yeah, which I don't know that I feel like that's earned. I don't think that
He's pretty broken by the end of
Yeah,
this movie.
I feel like he would be in a lot of trauma.
No, I think this is how he's dealing with trauma.
Is-
He's just becoming
But how do you?
what his partner was.
All right, so but do you really? So I guess they never were able to pin the heist on him, and
he's just going to go about
and
his
he
life
just
because
gets
he doesn't.
and he just gets the credit for taking down Masters.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like they're. I mean, the whole FBI thing is like
So
Dean
the message
Stockwell said
message to him is that breaking the rules pays, basically.
Yeah, that's what he's now taking, because even Dean Stockwell is like, unless you turn yourself in, they're probably not going to ever find out it was you.
Right.
Which even Chance, William Peterson says, yeah, they send it over the wire.
Right.
They have nothing.
Yeah.
They're holding their dicks,
Yep,
basically.
yep.
And so, yeah, it's like, yeah, that's, yeah, crime does pay, kids.
Crime pays, as long as you don't get killed.
Or caught. Or set up.
Yeah, or in prison, or
in prison.
or or set on fire.
Yeah. What happened to John Turturro? I mean, I'm guessing he's just like in the wind.
They just he caught him. He caught him before they went on the buy. He probably just booked him somewhere.
Yeah, but no, he was let free so that he could lead them.
That whole plot line just doesn't go anywhere.
Right. That's why
Because he goes to the apartment.
Which he
catches him before he goes to make. He's closing loose ends.
You know
Peterson
what's funny
is
about
at that point.
Yeah, you know what's funny about how he finds him? So he goes to see him in jail, basically after he gets attacked by the guys who are going to kill John Turturro, and he's like, "Okay, here's the deal, dude. Here's the deal we're going to give you." But he has this headshot of this actress, who I'm assuming is just one of those chicks who likes to fuck prisoners.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like conjugal visit type chick. And like, so now William Peterson knows who this woman is, even though he doesn't even take her headshot with him.
Yep.
He knows the name and finds him that way, like an idiot. He goes and
is shacked up with her.
And shacked up with her.
And he finds her through her SAG card. Yeah.
Yes. Which is funny on top of that, because she's just like one of those, bottom feeders who's just fucking prison dudes.
Yep.
Like, she's not even serious about what she wants to be.
It's hilarious.
But she's got headshots that William Peterson uses as a good, like, cop work would do. It's like, oh, yeah, what was the name of that actress? I'll just look her up real quick. Yeah. This is a pretty good movie.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. It's not an easy watch. Nobody really in this movie to pull for.
No.
Which that's what I say kind of comes from like the 70s.
Yeah.
Where you have the anti-hero like the Popeye Doyle and even Shaft to a certain extent. These are people who are doing things above the law.
Yep.
And it's definitely, though, kind of has that dirt of the mid 80s that like Miami Vice showed, and like anything Michael Mann has ever done.
Right. It's interesting to me that yes, first point, this LA is not shown in any sort of glamorous light.
It showed pretty realistically, because that place is garbage dump.
It's dirt. Yeah. So yeah, it showed pretty realistically. There's no glitz or glamour there's no sheen on LA in this movie. And it is interesting. I always find it interesting that Michael Mann, who made what I would call, again, neo-noir films like Manhunter, Thief, and
Thief's good. Yeah.
and movies that took place in LA, heist movies like in LA, like Heat, right? That he was the one that they chose to make the Miami Vice movie.
Yeah.
And he made that movie and made it so not 80s. Like it was almost like every artistic choice he made was to not make it look like the original Miami Vice.
Yeah.
And I think he missed a real opportunity there.
Yeah.
Because if he had made that movie like Drive, a movie we'll talk about next week, it could have been really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a movie though where almost LA becomes its own character also. Like this there is a little bit of a character to the setting.
Yes,
of
most
this
definitely.
movie.
Most definitely.
It's like that's the whole point of the credit sequence.
Yeah. Life is hard in LA.
It is.
Yep.
And sometimes you have to fucking deal with these cop chases that are causing them 2 or 3 minute
2 or
delay.
3 minute delays. And everything costs $50,000 in
Everything
funny
costs
money.
$50,000. You just keep printing it, But yeah, it's like totally like it's $50,000 in LA, but it's like $20 in Topeka.
Topeka, Kansas, getting a lot of play.
Yeah,
on Film
right?
Seizure. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you, Topeka.
Your population of less than
200,000
250,000 people.
Yeah, your crime is cheap.
Good for you.
Yeah, I guess. But no, I would generally. Here's the thing: I would generally recommend this to most people. Like, if you don't like your main characters or heroes or all of the people in the movie to have dirt on them or to be kind of scuzzy,
Yeah.
you probably won't like this movie. This kind of brought back some of my appreciation for some of those 70s anti-hero type movies. It's not like the exploitation type stuff.
No.
But it's it's the more mainstream anti-hero stuff. Which definitely I would say a lot of the blaxploitation fits into, like Shaft and Superfly, where these are bad people or technically bad people or people who don't follow the rules.
Yeah,
that you're cheering for.
They're not even necessarily bad people. They're maybe good people doing bad things to some degree.
Right. They are, and they certainly have an obsession.
They have maybe even a sense of morality or decency to some degree, to some point that they live by,
right,
that we might not recognize as decency, but they do.
Right.
In this movie, I mean, everything is pretty much characters doing bad things that they know they're bad, sometimes for good reasons.
I would say that generally William Peterson is doing bad things for the greater good.
Yes.
But of a small thing. It's not like he's stopping drug dealers from selling to little kids. But he's stopping counterfeiters.
But it's with a recklessness.
Yeah, a recklessness that get other people
right.
bowled over.
And he has no regard for others that get in his way, which is the definition of a dangerous person.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
he didn't even attempt to pull out on his lady friend. He's probably going to stick her with a child, and he's dead, and she's not going to get anything from it.
Maybe $20,000 if she can get out from under.
Yeah, she's going to have to kill an agent, I think, to get out from, because it's the cycle of obsession is just being continued now.
Yep.
Because now he's going to get a new partner who he's going to pass that on to because he's going to do something stupid.
Yeah. And maybe John Turturro will get out and become the new Willem Dafoe.
I don't see John Turturro being very successful in that. He's kind of a moron.
He is kind of a moron.
Yeah.
Not in real life. We love you, John.
Yeah, John. Hey, you're awesome. Barton Fink.
We like you, John.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So, what do we got next week?
We got Drive next week.
Yeah, that's right. Drive.
We're doing Drive.
Doing Drive.
Yeah.
That is episode 49. Guess what happens in a couple of weeks?
So the week after that, we've got a special surprise.
50.
Yeah. 50th episode. That's hard to believe.
I know, right?
Yeah.
God,
I've spent
hours
with you.
I know. I would not recommend that. I spend hours with me too, and it sucks.
Days of my life. But yes, until next week when we talk about Drive.
You can find the new episodes always on filmseizure.com. This Monday is the premiere of Monster Monday.
Yes.
So that's exciting, something new for the website to do, for me to do, I guess. New episodes every Wednesday, Monster Mondays every Monday. You can catch new articles from me on B Movie Enema every Friday. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we gotcha.
Man,
we gotcha.
The tentacles.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm just spreading out, just grabbing people, taking them. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Film Seizure.
Yes.
So until we talk about the feature motion picture starring Ryan Gosling, Drive. I am Jeff Arbuckle.
I am Jason Oliver, and you have been listening to Film Seizure.
When I, you, and everyone we knew believed, sharing what was true, I said, dance all days long.